What up, what up, what up? Now, I know what everyone's gonna be thinking.
We lied.
Like, damn. They said they weren't gonna have a Friday episode, and then it just popped up. Like, what?
We lied.
Yeah, I know. My bad. Now, the reason this changed is because we found out, I think it was a little bit later in the day after we were done recording, that one of, like, the rappers I follow, I listen to, I was heavy on as a kid and, you know, now as an adult, passed away. And I'm sure if you follow, you're within the rap world, even, you know, it's being reported on the news and certain big, like, news, CNN and all that stuff. They reported it, of course. So Nipsey Hussle passed away. And man, it's starting to hurt, just like how when your family like knows a certain artist that passed away, and then they feel like hurt because it's like, damn, they had a connection with that person through the music. Yeah. Like when Prince passed, I didn't listen to his music, but I'm sure like a lot of people were affected by that. Michael Jackson a little bit for me. I don't know. What?
I get it.
What, you didn't have anyone pass away that you liked that was an artist?
I was surprised when Avicii passed away. That was like a year or two ago.
Oh man, real quick, we didn't even introduce this. Last Tuesday, this past Tuesday.
Get it together, you got this.
My bad. We went straight into it because we were just hyped about the topics.
He was heated.
So if you're new and you're listening to us, what's going on? I'm Shadell, the better half of Paging the Simpsons. I am here with my lovely fiance, the second grader half of Paging the Simpsons. You are?
I'm Lauren, and you need to stop that crap.
Oh man. So I want to talk about this because Nipsey Hussle passing hit me. It hurts. Like, yo, just like when XXX Tentacion died back last year, I think June, July, and Prodigy the year before that. Like, these people were passing away, and it's like, yo, damn.
They're young.
I mean, Prodigy wasn't young, but like, it's like you don't see it coming. You don't see it coming. I mean, Nipsey was 33.
Exactly.
Or something like that.
That's kind of terrifying.
And what sucks is, like, I know you have, for you, that comes from this part where it's like, you think rappers are all, I don't know, like, misogynistic or whatever.
I do not think they all are. I'm saying what's in mainstream media and what is, like, put out there as the kind of thing that it is. Okay. It's portrayed as that.
Okay. Nonetheless, like, yo, Nipsey was one of those guys that were like, I got money, I'm going to give back to the people that were in the same town as me or the same community as me. So he had businesses, like he owned a lot of places. He got those people that, you know, probably were doing bad things like selling drugs, robbing people, to, hey, you can go work here. I got a job for you. Like, it's like he was someone that's like, I'm trying to help everyone else out. And it just sucks when someone like that gets killed, and then it's like, what happens there? And you'd like it.
You think why?
Why? And it's like, you hope what happens is the same thing what happened when Tupac was like, you know, I may not be the change, but I'm going to be the one that sparks the change in someone else. And it's like, you kind of hope that is the case where, you know, it may not be me or you that gets influenced by Nipsey's passing, but you just hope that there's one person that gets influenced, and then, you know, maybe 5-10 years from now, there's that person that's like, yo, I was influenced by Nipsey, by this person, by that person. And that helped shape me and, you know, made me want to give back to these people or help out, you know, other people that don't have it as good as I do. And that's the thing that sucks. Like, that's what always hurts me with these all these artists dying, especially these people that have this money that can really help out. That's my issue, and why I was like, ugh, I was feeling it. I'm feeling it every time everyone passes away, and I'm just like, damn. I'm waiting for like I don't know, like one day like Jay and like Nas and like those higher ups. I know you're not big on this, but I'm waiting for like those higher ups to pass, because like that in itself is like another iconic like day where it's like, wow.
Well, I feel like anyone feels that if it's someone that's more popular and mainstream.
Dog, all I know is I'm hurt. It sucks, because it's like, you don't even know this person. Never met Nipsey in my life, of course, but it's just like, yo, like, you rocked with this person, you supported them. Like, I saw Nipsey when not saw him, but like I've been following him since I was back in high school. Everyone that knows rap, you're probably familiar with Lloyd Banks, and I'm like, I feel like him and Nipsey were like similar. They had a song together or something, and I'm like, yeah, I rock with Nipsey because like the way he handled himself, it was very similar to Banks. He was very lyrical, and I was just like, yeah, I dig it. And since then, I've been like, yo, I'm a fan, and just been following. So it just, I don't know, it hurts. Now with Nipsey passing, I didn't know this. But and of course, other people that didn't know this, we found out that he was working on a documentary about Dr. Sebi, is how he pronounced his name, I'd like to say. And which then had me looking more into this a bit more, because he mentioned it in his album Victory Lap that came out last year. And I'm curious. So I showed you a video it's a popular interview. It's like has over 1 million views on YouTube. It's from like 2015, I'd like to say. I forgot who posted about it. It was like this guy that had a talk show, and Dr. Sebi was on it. And like me not knowing this guy, and then knowing like what you've gone through, which we're going to talk about, it's so interesting. And I'm like, damn, I'm starting to like, I kind of want to change up my lifestyle, knowing this. Also, if you guys don't know, because I've been following this like Nipsey Hussle thing, I was like, I really want to see this documentary. I hope someone like carries it on. And supposedly, I think it's confirmed, but Nick Cannon said he's gonna be the one to complete it. So I'm like, yo, that's great. That's terrifying. It's terrifying. That's terrifying to have to step up and take that. That's terrifying, but that's great. Like, I'm like this, because, so here goes the next part. We don't know for sure if it's a conspiracy at this point. Mm-hmm. We don't know if, this could have been someone that it wasn't gang related, or it could have been. I saw something also where it's like police say it was like a close friend, so that could be the next case. It's hard to tell. Yeah, but it's kind of weird what the documentary was going to be about. It is. That's what makes it all sketchy. What's funny is he put out an interview, and he was like, not put out an interview, but he was in an interview recently, and he was like, yo, if they kill me for this, y'all better ride for me. And I'm like, ugh. You realize this is what happens to a lot of celebrities. I do. I don't think Michael Jackson was even an accident. Yo, and what's funny, when I show you that Dr. Sebi thing, he was like, oh, he treated Michael Jackson. And like he did like... And it's funny because it was in 2004, and he's talking about how he was having sleep issues, and he helped him with that. And then here we were like, what, 5 years later is when Michael Jackson died because of sleep issues? Was it sleep issues? Yeah, they claimed how he couldn't... They claimed how he couldn't sleep, so that the doctor was giving him like crazy amounts of stuff just to sleep. Yeah, and then Dr. Sebi was trying to help him clean out. He said he used some term, I forgot what it was called, but it was like essentially like cleaning his cells. I was like, that's interesting. Oh, key something. It was interesting. So Dr. Sebi, if you intracellular chelation. Oh, look at you! You got the notes here. I got the notes here. And it's so interesting learning about this guy. So if you don't know Dr. Sebi, we're going to give you a brief run through of what we learned watching this interview. And I mean... He is no longer around either. Yeah, he passed away. From what I looked up, it looked like he passed away because he was in custody of the police, and he passed that way. And of course, that's always fishy to me, because you always think about like Sandra Bland and all the other people that have passed away being in police custody, and like that's fishy to me. And the type of life he carried out. Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's what makes it a big deal. We're gonna get right into it. I have some notes on my phone, as I'm sure you do, and I just really want to get into this and also kind of touch on what you've gone through, because now it's like, damn. Like, I'm so interested. He's over here texting me this morning. Whoa. Like, okay, this is an hour-long video. So he watched it, and then later I had watched it. And he's over here texting me, like, his eyes finally have opened. Like, he's seeing a whole new side. Not seeing a whole new side, but no, just like, sir, no. Oh, so it's kind of one of those things where I've, like, told him all my success stories and my opinions on a different kind of lifestyle and all that kind of stuff, and then he's like, yeah, no, if that works for you, that's great, whatever. But he wasn't like into it, and he didn't really like he would do like my dietary restrictions somewhat, but not as strict, because not as strict, sir. Not as strict. I still follow. I just indulge every now and then. Oh, every now and then, sure. So like, yeah, he
he never did it as much as I did because, well, in his mind, he doesn't have to. But just because he's not presenting any immediate symptoms does not mean he doesn't have to.
It's probably symptoms. Like I get, like after not eating for a while, I get those like headaches. Like this symptoms, and I'm sure
which is an imbalance.
Dog, we're not gonna sit here and diagnose me. That's what we're not gonna do.
I've told him so many times. So there's a finger prick test that I did through my naturopath, and it's like, she pricks your finger and you put like 4 little like dots or something on the card. They send it in, and a few weeks later you get back essentially all of your like food sensitivities, and it's on a scale of 1 to 9. And if you're like above a 3 or a 4, you shouldn't be eating that food because that is now going to create something in you. It could present in different ways for different people. And I've told him so much. God. I want him just to do that. I am so curious because he could have completely different sensitivities than me. Bro. But yeah. So anyway, so he's texting me this morning all like with his eyes open finally, and I'm like, hallelujah.
No. All right. So to get into this a bit more, so Dr. Sebi, one of the things he has done, he has healed 13 people of AIDS. Like, and to give you an idea, this is all naturally. Like, he's not giving you, like, herbal. As you go to the, herbal. He's not going, like, you're not going to a doctor's and he's giving you, yo, pop this pill at this time, pop this pill on this day. Like,
right.
It's none of that.
They're not pharmaceuticals. It's not chemotherapy. It's not anything.
It's all about adjusting to your diet. And it's like watching this video, it opens your eyes to being like, maybe you should rethink that we're not made to have, you know, the starchy foods, the meats, the blood that's in the meats, like all this stuff that it's like, we're not really meant to have this. Yeah, this is what we're not going to do is you sit here and preach to me. Let's not do this.
And I'm not perfect by any means. I have dietary restrictions, but I'm not completely vegan. I still eat meat. I still, you know, cheat every once in a while. And I still crave, like, all the dairy and all the everything. So, like, I'm not perfect. It's not like I'm a strict, like, vegan and everything, but I've just found that through changing a lot of these things, my life has vastly improved. My health has vastly improved. So my quality of life has. So I could completely understand where he's coming from.
And so this guy, like I said, he healed 13 people of AIDS. Like they no longer have AIDS.
Which is crazy.
He essentially, claims, or he said that he can cure people of blindness, or he has cured people of blindness, AIDS, sickle cell, herpes, seizures, and more. You may have a better list if you took all those down, but he
diabetes, asthma,
a long range of things.
Which I'm like, woohoo, fellow asthmatic.
And it's like, it is wild. So what essentially happened after he has done this, and I think you noted that it was like 77 people.
So what? Well, no, I don't know how many he's done total. Okay. What happened later in the interview is he's saying that to prove his point in the trial or whatever, he had to bring 9 people. So all these different people that he's treated from different illnesses.
Yep.
But instead of 9 people, he brought 77 to make a point.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
And so
he was a very confident man. He knew exactly what he was doing. And he was just another man who was there trying to serve people, trying to make people better in an ethical way, and like just be a good person.
And
he knew it.
So before leading to the trial part there, so, you know, after doing this, after, you know, healing so many people, he put out an ad in, I guess, in a New York newspaper. I'm not sure exactly which one when I was doing my research. And that's where it followed, where he was, you know, then arrested for what do you call it, for practicing medicine without a license. And he was put in jail, and he said like everyone, like his team or his people around him were like all like worried for him, and he's sitting there like in jail, like happy. He's like, he knows that he has all this proof and he's ready for this. He
said when he cured his 13th AIDS patient, his mom said, they're gonna get you. and I'm like, that's exactly what I always say. Like, I believe in this conspiracy stuff. You know, something ain't right. There's such a hierarchy of just people and different wealth and different power and all this. I don't trust everybody. I don't think everybody's in it for other people and for the good of people. And what people have to realize is being sick is a huge business. Like, so many people are making so much money off of so many illnesses.
Yep.
Because constant prescriptions, constant doctor visits, constant chemotherapy, hospitals, everything.
Death.
Like,
you're making money through it all.
Every step of the way. The longer you're sick, the more they're making money. It is not health care. That's such a fraud. Like, you're not actually healthy. So, and that's what people have to realize, is that's why I don't trust all this stuff. I understand that you have to take medication sometimes. There are some things you have to do. I'm not one of those people that I'm like completely against, like if I have to go to the emergency room and they have to pump me on something or, whatever. I'm not against complete, everything when it comes to Eastern medicine. But he has a very valid point that when it comes to Western medicine and herbs and everything, this is what, like, you should be giving your body what your body can accept already. Because when we're putting different foods and different medications and different stuff in our body that it doesn't understand, now it has to form and manipulate to it. And ultimately, that doesn't do any good for your body.
Yeah.
That, and it's this vicious cycle.
And now that you mention that, he also mentions in the video where it's like all the starchy foods, all these foods where it's like, it's not meant for your body.
Beans, meat, whatever.
And to like further to get into that a bit more, he was saying like when he was, put on trial in front of the judge, he has to judge 3 questions, and I jotted these down here. Did you?
I don't know if I put the questions.
Oh, yeah, I put the questions because I'm like, these are interesting. So he was defending himself. He did not have a lawyer with him, which I'm like, that is crazy. But he was sure about himself. So
he was good.
So the first question he asked is it a fact that the Holy Bible teaches that the Bible is for the healing of the the Bible is for the healing? I think that the herbs are for the healing of the nation. Is what I'd like to say it was.
Okay.
My notes are trash. My bad.
You're like Reddit.
And the judge said yes. Because, like I said, they're trying to get him for, practicing medicine without a license.
Which,
and
honestly,
if you think about it.
He even said, he's like, yes, I have no schooling. Like, he literally has zippo of schooling. He came from Honduras and, like, he has nothing. But, again, and I understand. I get it to a degree because even my naturopath, she is an actual doctor. Yeah. She went to medical school and all that stuff. Yep. So I get it. But at the same time, how all these years ago, people used to treat stuff with herbs and natural ways without a license. You just used to do these things before all of this stuff took over our nation.
And then, so the next question he asked her, this is the second question. He's like, is it a fact that science shows the human body is carbon-based? Now, of course, I don't know if this is true or not. I'm going by him, and the judge agreed, so I'm assuming this is true.
Because he was relating to water and everything, because he's talking about how important water is, too.
And
which is very true.
He goes on to say, and to complement a carbon-based body, you need a carbon-based substance, because it only accepts that substance because it's called chemical affinity, and from
affinity.
And I guess the brief description he gave for chemical affinity is the body only accepting what it was made up of.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because I remember my doctor, she said, when I had to go off gluten was one of them, and she said wheat is produced to never die.
And we're putting that in our bodies. That's
exactly.
And it's crazy because they're like wheat bread is like, oh, it's so much healthier for you.
Hello, yes. Stuff. All we see on the advertisements, whole wheat bread is better than white bread, and whole wheat pasta is better, and all. It's so hearty and it's so good for you. If something is not designed to ever die, do you really think that's made for your body? Like we talk about, yes, like. Sure, you don't want to buy groceries every 2 days, but like at the end of the day, your fruits, your veggies, whatever you eat is better with no preservatives and all that crap on it because that's the most natural form.
See, and what's so tough is like we've been living this lifestyle for so long, so it's like, damn, to be like, yo, you gotta take out the meats, you gotta take out like you can't glucose, you can't have any sugar, like to take out all these stuff that we've lived with. since we were kids up until we're adults is crazy to me.
And it's very interesting because he talks about glucose. He says that is the single worst enemy, which I thought was interesting because for me, I mean, my doctor wants me to limit sugar. She doesn't want it, like, there's limits, I think, of 25 grams a day, which if you look at all the sugar, the added sugar that's in all of your products, like, it adds up faster than you think.
You're probably killing that in one snack.
But you can have sugar in something that you don't think even has sugar. It could be a box of mac and cheese or something. Good. Yeah. So, but she hasn't told me to like completely eliminate it. And I'm thinking because sugar is very much addictive. It's like crack.
Oh, tell me.
Okay.
I'm addicted to candy.
Literally, have you ever noticed? I don't know if you've ever tried this. I have tried having 0 sugar for even a day. It is hard.
I can't.
Your body craves it. It is actually an addiction. Just like that's what happened with me and cheese. When I first had to go off cheese, because they actually say that cheese triggers the same part in your brain as drugs. That's insane. Yeah. It's literally addictive. And I find that, out of all the things I've had to give up, cheese is the only thing I want more of. Everything else, I'm fine with nothing with gluten in it and all this, and even the dairy products, whatever. Eggs, I'm cool. Cheese is the thing I want the most. Whether it is a cheese sauce on pasta or shredded cheese or whatever. That is all I ever want. Still. And I do not eat it. What? I eat maybe a cheat meal once a month, once every couple months at this point. So like, and I still want it all the time. Yeah. That's insane. Man. That's crazy. What are they doing to that?
Well, it's a lot of things. It's like,
why does it do that to us? You know, that's scary.
Like I can't even imagine myself. Like, it's tough because we go grocery shopping. And it's like, yo, I feel like at this point, I just have to have like even a small bit of candy just to get me through the whole week. Like,
I've noticed that.
Like, I'm just like, and it sucks because I can't like imagine myself like, let's say like, okay, let me not get any candy, let me not get any ice cream, let me not get any chips, and like, it's so tough because I'm like, okay, then what else am I gonna eat? And if I try switching it up and like, you know, let's eat more things that you can find that are gonna be, you know, out in the wild, which is that whole like organic, like healthy, like more strawberries, more bananas, more carrots,
plant-based,
like more of the stuff that you can find out there. And it's just like, it's tough because that you're so used to the sugar, you have to like break that, and it takes so long.
And people always talk about fruits, but fruits just don't do it the same way that artificial sugar does, and it makes sense. And
trust me, I know.
And the thing is, I grew up where after dinner every night, it was just a routine to have dessert. You saw this when we first started dating. You didn't get that. Like, you were just like, I'm full. I don't really want anything.
Yeah, you guys like ate right after. I'm like,
it was a routine that we would eat dinner and we would look forward to dessert right after. That was like the greatest thing. After a stressful school day or whatever it was, we got that reward.
Because you found comfort in food.
Yes. So it's now it is an all-encompassing problem because now you're leaning on food for emotional distress, and you're also getting addicted to it from what it is, and it's becoming a routine, so now it's harder to break. It is so
and then you're
hard.
getting as you're eating that, your body's getting sick. You're gonna start feeling some health issues down the road. You're soon gonna have to go to the doctors.
And then then what happens? The vicious cycle of doctors and medicine.
Yep.
Which I'm not trying to put doctors down. They save lives. They still are very much necessary. I think, though, it's more necessary to live a different lifestyle altogether. And again, that could be like this guy, he says a lot of things. He kind of says it as an all-encompassing thing. I think personally, you could have different lifestyles for different people because, again, we're all kind of made differently, and we're all kind of we've had different struggles, so
it's tough. It's tough because we're not born into that like lifestyle. Just being
true,
like,
we're all born
that.
The same.
We're born eating like the same junk food, eating that stuff. It's so tough.
However, think about it, because it starts in the womb. What does your mom eat? Yeah. So if you think about it too, like you could be born addicted to stuff. Not like, I mean, it's more so drugs. If your mom's on drugs or something, you actually become addicted in the womb. But I believe that what your mom is eating in there now may be what you gravitate towards or what you enjoy more. And I mean, sure, I haven't been pregnant yet, but I do understand that everyone's different. Yeah. And if there's an insane craving, you don't want to, you want to give into it, or, if you're barely eating, you'll eat whatever you feel like at the moment. I understand there's different circumstances, but I don't know. I feel like that's where it starts. And then here you go. And then as the kids growing up, they won't eat anything. They're throwing a tantrum. So throw them this man. Just to get through the day. Yeah. And the thing is, we're human, so I'm not putting that down. Like, hey, if you need a break, fine. Like, you just give them a thing. But then it's like, if you start adding everything together,
it's not good. And that's how the kids get picky. And like, for example, like my little brother, I
was a super picky child. Like, I did not eat vegetables until I started on this lifestyle a year and a half ago, year and 3/4 ago. I was
like, damn, how do you like so many vegetables you haven't had?
I would fight my doctor about peas.
Yeah.
I didn't want to eat peas, so I started eating peas.
Peas are really good.
Then I got used to them. Then I started eating carrots, got used to them. Then I like broccoli now.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd like broccoli. Still hate asparagus. I've tried it several times, still don't like it. But I've tried.
I mean, I like to only I think grilled is the time I liked it at some place.
I don't know.
Grilled, I don't know, it did something with the flavor of it. But
yeah, so like, guys, it's insane. But I feel better when I eat the more vegetables and stuff.
What's interesting when we did, I don't stay like so heavy onto this like diet as you do, but I do know like I'll say I'm like 50-50. I won't give myself a whole higher percent, but I'm 50-50 with it.
Yeah.
And it's like when we go out to like go eat at a restaurant with your family or if you want to have a cheat meal someplace and we go and eat, and it's just like, that food is so heavy because you're probably going to have a burger, you're going to have pasta, you're going to have pizza, something with gluten in it.
Right.
And it's just like, it's so heavy, and it's like, when you're eating like some food that doesn't have the gluten and the starch and like all this stuff that's not good for you.
And you're not used to it anymore.
You don't feel heavy at all.
It's very interesting. You have more energy. You overall feel better.
My diet, like my lunch has been for a whole year, I realized, has been Soylent, which is the meal replacement. You can look it up. And apple and banana, and that's been my lunch, like that, and I eat that, like it gives me enough to get me through my rest of my day, and I'm good. Like, Soylent's all just made of stuff that you could find within your house.
True. I'm 50-50 with Soylent because you're also having a lot of soy, and a lot of people can argue that a lot of soy isn't good for you either.
I don't think there's that much, but don't quote me on that.
The problem is, you know what I've noticed? I'm glad that I don't have a soy, at least intolerance, like I do with gluten, dairy, eggs, and almonds, because if you look at everything, soy is in everything.
But I don't think Soylent has like a lot of soy. Like, I think that's just the name it is.
But anyways, yeah, you're right, because when we do go out, and it's like, yeah, when we go out with my family for a holiday or something, or we go out with friends every once in a while, like, yeah, I'll kind of count that as my cheat meal, because basically, yes, it's better the longer I go without stuff, and I've been doing better since we got back from vacation because I just needed to reset my body.
We went ham.
But for my sanity, it was kind of like, okay, I get a cheat meal like once a month or every couple months or something, whatever my body's good for. And yeah, like when we go out, I love it. My taste buds love it. One, I get full faster because it's heavier. 2, I get exhausted immediately. And 3, I get a migraine, and it starts probably within like 15 minutes after I'm finished eating.
And I feel like all the stuff you're saying, I feel the same. So I'm pretty sure this is all
crazy.
Around.
And it usually has everything that I've eliminated.
We just think it's normal because I work with, I'm with my coworkers and everything, and like they'll, go out and get lunch or go to the across the hall to the cafeteria and get something. And of course, there's going to be pizza, pasta, lasagna, like all that stuff.
Right.
So it's like, they're like, oh man, after lunch, I just feel tired and all that stuff. And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, I know why you feel like that because it's the food you're eating, that food you're not supposed to eat.
Well, it's just like, we're talking about how the quote unquote normal thing is the doctor's prescriptions, all that stuff. They also don't make it easy to eat cleaner because it is more expensive.
Yeah, it costs way more.
Yeah, McDonald's for that night is cheaper than a healthier meal that night. Or, even at the grocery store, these prepackaged things or these non-organic things or whatever they are.
Yep.
just regular cheese versus vegan cheese, and it is insane. Like these things are so much more expensive. So there we go. So, again, it's a money making thing.
And it's pricing out if you can afford it, you're like, hey, you're gonna live a nice lifestyle.
Where are we seeing more of these health issues pop up now? Yeah. People who can't afford it. Yeah. So now they're getting sicker, but what are they gonna do about it? Because at the end of the day, they just need to put food on the table for the kids. They need to eat, period. Pretty much. It's not about now. It's a vicious cycle again. It's terrible because then you're still going to be paying for doctors and prescriptions and stuff. That's the thing.
Here we go.
That's the thing. We pay a lot of money, okay, when it comes to my doctor visits, my supplements, the way I have to eat, all that stuff.
Yeah.
In reality, I am sure we are not saving any money living this way than if I was eating like crap and all my doctor visits and prescriptions before, because in the end, I feel like all balances out. Because guys, when I was a kid, I would be sick, like a kid, I would be sick every 2 weeks. I would miss school every 2 weeks growing up. And I was constantly fed prescriptions like they were candy. Okay? Like steroids, cortisone prescriptions, everything. And that adds up. All my dad would ever talk about is how expensive these prescriptions are. And it's funny because the last few years, so I'm on my dad's health insurance until I'm 26 this year. So the last couple of years, in like December, there would be no copays for prescriptions. You want to know why, guys? Because in that household of, 3 plus me, I was still on the plan. How much money was going into prescriptions? So they kind of have this plan where eventually it's like, the deductibles or whatever, and you get free prescriptions, and now you're excited about it.
But it's probably like, this is like a number that you probably won't hit unless you like
absurd
it's
number.
Probably a huge number.
So between copays for doctors, my copays right now are $25 for a regular doctor and $40 for a specialist per time I see them, plus prescriptions. So that really adds up when you are constantly sick. So coming from that lifestyle, and sure, it's been a journey. It has not been smooth. It's been a journey of weaning off prescriptions and weaning on more natural ways and kind of going back and forth a little. But overall, I'm confident we are still spending somewhere around the same amount. We're not saving money by any means, but we are healthier.
Well, no, you're funny that you say that because you just had me thinking you're gonna hate me for this, but I'm like, it's just like having a Tesla and buying an old car. 'Cause it's like you're buying that cheap car. You're buying that cheap car because it's like, yo, this is why I can afford it.
He's been obsessed with Teslas lately. Don't mind him. It sounds really random because you don't know what this household has been like for a couple weeks.
Dog. All right, let me get this off. Let me get this off. Like I was trying to say. So it's like buying a Tesla where it's like, yo, you don't have, as long as you maintain the bare minimum things that you have, which is literally not much, you're good. You eat good, you're good. Right. But if you get that cheap car, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna have brakes you gotta change. You're gonna have oil you gotta put in.
But it's just funny because my point goes with, yes, it's not cheap to live this way, to constantly go to follow-ups with my naturopath and to, have still the high quality supplements, might I add. They are not from GNC and Walmart and Nature Made and all that crap because that stuff does nothing. So they are through my doctor. They are very high quality supplements, which you wouldn't believe how much I'm paying for these things. So between that and the food and everything, it's not easy to afford it, but if you break down how much you actually are going to end up spending if you feed your family crap and then everyone gets sick more often from it and needs medications more often from it and XYZ, it might be a little easier to stomach the switch then. You're basically just switching what you're putting that money towards. All right, back to the topic at hand.
Get back into this Dr. Sebi thing here. So the third question that he asked the judge was, is it a fact that the father of medicine, Hippocrates, cured every disease known to man? And he asked the judge, did he use herbs or chemicals? And the judge said herbs. And he said, "Thank you very much. I rest my case."
And I was like, mic drop. Oh.
And it's like, so what's crazy about this, which he informs us, which I didn't know, because you think, yo, if they arrest you for practicing medicine without having a license, you're probably screwed. Like, what can you really do with that?
Right.
So he was one of the first people to win this case out of out of 781 cases that came before him at the Supreme Court that lost. And I'm like, that is crazy. So he says that they were unprepared for him because, you're probably thinking like, yo, I'm 781-0 right now.
Right.
Like, I'm killing it. No one's gonna like they're probably thinking, what are they gonna say?
What is this? At the time, he was probably 60 or 70 when he went to that. Because he was 82 in this interview. So, like, they're probably looking at this guy like, he's getting older. He's not schooled, whatever.
And, like, this guy was smart because he also came with, like, he's prepared. Like, he brought, like you said, 77 people.
That's insane.
Along with him. And, of course, they're going to ride with this guy. Like, this guy helped them. Like, I would ride for him if you cured my blindness, you cured my diabetes.
That's why I'm so passionate about my situation.
And so he brought the diagnostic sheets from not just any regular medical school from like Honduras or anything. He went to accredited American medical schools.
Yeah.
To go ahead, test these people also. Like, tell me if they have AIDS. Tell me if they're able to see. Tell me if they have diabetes. And it all came back that like, these people are cured.
That's insane.
And that is wild to me.
He also had said he was explaining, like, for example, chemotherapy to treat cancer is acid.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it's one of those things people always say how with chemotherapy and with antibiotics, you're killing the bad stuff, but you're killing the good stuff too. That's the problem with it, is you're kind of you're playing this game of, well, I need to really get rid of that bad stuff because that's more threatening right now.
Yeah.
But you're not thinking, what happens if all the good stuff goes too?
Like,
and that's why, like, even my doctor growing up, he would say when I had to take antibiotics, he'd say take probiotics at the same time to kind of make it balance out. But here's the gag. I was taking probiotics that weren't good enough.
Yeah.
Because, again, that's not his field. He was the medical doctor who went to the prescription route, not the
like, I know
herbal
this can
route.
help you.
So it was very interesting. Like, it's very interesting seeing how my life has unfolded and just seeing both sides. But so he was saying that. And then there's he would talk about how like mucus is the precursor to every disease.
Yeah, he said there was one disease.
He would, and it makes a lot of sense. Sinusitis, okay? When you have a sinus infection, okay? You're mucousy in the nose and in the nasal cavities and all that. And bronchitis, you're mucousy in the lungs. Pneumonia, the lungs. He even talked about AIDS, because the guy wanted to discount and be like, how is AIDS from mucus? And he was saying all these different parts
it's in the skin,
that had
it's in the
everywhere. And I'm like, ugh. But
I'm like, this makes sense.
And it makes
I'm like, wow.
Again, it goes back to because all the foods that I can't eat right now, they're all inflammatory. However, I have found specifically with dairy, when I have anything dairy related, I'm almost automatically more stuffed up and congested. And it's funny because looking back in my life, when my asthmatic cough wouldn't stop and I was not on this lifestyle, I was still eating tons of dairy. And it furthers it. It stays mucousy and heavy, and the cough won't stop because your lungs are lined with this mucus. It's awful.
Let me find out that we're supposed to be eating grass and water from outside for us to stay healthy. Like, if we're trying to be like real natural and stuff, and eat stuff straight from what it's from, like, let me start thinking, like, I feel like that's what it is. Because maybe we're not supposed to, whoever did that back a long time ago, milk the cows to get this white stuff and drink it.
People always said, they're like, how does it make sense? If we breastfeed from our mothers, why are we doing the same from cows?
I don't freaking know.
Isn't the cow's milk for baby cows?
Well, yeah, and he made that same case
Which
where
makes
it's like
a lot of sense.
he's like, if a gorilla eats what a panda eats, that gorilla is gonna,
again, it's the
have a hard
mutating
time.
because now, yes, your body wasn't made. Our body was not made to consume a cow's milk like it is our mother's milk, who is a human.
And that's why I'm like, I'm starting to see things. I'm starting to see things differently from this. I don't know if I'm gonna make lifestyle changes because that's in itself is tough.
It's honestly, it's just a hard thing, and that's why I won't proclaim that I'm a full vegan or that I don't do certain stuff or that I don't enjoy dairy and all that stuff. I still do, but again, it's because that was my life. I mean, I never thought anything different. And just because I got rid of it and I feel better, it's also hard to shut off that part of your brain that actually enjoys it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It's tricky. I really don't have much else to add to this.
I have a couple things. One was he talks about like Africa's eating starch and blood. He said when you bring the food to a lab, he's like, you're not actually going to see like anything like food related in that food. Yeah. You're not like, it's a substance now. What are you eating? Like that kind of thing. He also said the thing with curing the blindness, because I think that's an interesting one. He was talking about what you have to do is you have to clear the intestines. Yeah. And that made a lot of sense because people always say, was it 80% of your health comes from your gut? Because again, guys, put 2 and 2 together. Everything you are eating now is going to affect your body in some way, good or bad. And it all goes to your stomach first and your digestive system. And it's just very interesting because like I had a lot of stomach problems growing up, and I still am trying to treat those things more naturally now to have a stronger gut and like clear it out. And I could see why it kind of gets trapped in there.
You know what I find interesting, which I freaking love? Like, I know, like, so Honduras, I'm not familiar where it is on the geography map, but like a lot of things you were saying like remind me of like the Jamaican like side of this, where it's like at the end of the day, he didn't go to medical school. He just looked at something and broke it down to like, okay, it's like solving a problem. Yeah. And it's just like, like that's what I learned like growing up and like watching how my mom works, because I'm of course half Jamaican there. So it's like I'm understanding this because like mom would be like, okay, take this if you're feeling like this. Or, like it's all like natural things that would help.
My problem is my mom was like into the natural stuff, but the quality of the stuff that we were taking wasn't really there, like I said before. And 2, it's hard because natural stuff, taking natural supplements with eating like crap and with having a terrible lifestyle,
it's not going to do anything.
It's not going to cancel it out. It's not like magically going to kind of make it so you can do whatever you want still.
But it also comes down to like your culture, because I feel like this works.
Hey, Italians love cheese, so that's like, where I got it.
This works in Jamaica. This like the stuff that we're saying that we like, let's say Jamaicans would bring to America, wouldn't probably work for the regular American because, you're eating horribly.
Oh, side note, the whole gargling salt water, like to help your throat or your colds or whatever, my naturopath said 100% does not work. It doesn't make any sense. So because growing up, again, my mom would have me do that, or I would try it. People would tell me that, and people still swear by it.
So I'm like, it doesn't go in your throat at all.
I mean, it does because you're gargling it. But
me never did. I never swallowed it.
Well, no, but okay. Anyways, so she said she's like, when she was in medical school, her and some colleagues literally like broke everything down, like molecular levels, and like did this whole experiment and basically completely disproved that theory. And I was like so like blown away by that. I'm like, okay, go you. So that was interesting. The last thing I'll leave it with, he said, whenever you put something in your mouth, it'll serve you well and support your nervous system. If not, you'll find yourself stressed and sick. Yeah. Which is very true. Very true. It's hard. And I'm not perfect by any means, and I still enjoy bad things, but
Yeah.
It's very true because, again, when we eat these yucky things, well, that's the thing too, and I kind of do believe it because we're still very much meat eaters. A lot of vegans say how they have even more energy and health when you get rid of the meat. So like you and me, we're plant-based to a degree, except for the meat part.
Yeah.
So if we were to eliminate meat altogether, I feel like even more so. Like I do believe
I'm totally down. Like supposedly it could be a rumor because we're recording this on April Fool's, but what do you call it? I showed you earlier. Burger King came out and said they're going to be having
a vegan Whopper patty.
Yeah, so 0 beef. And I'm like, that is interesting. But the bun is still gluten. So I'm like...
Well, gluten, so for me... But when it comes to vegans, I also said, though, I'm like, okay, but now Burger King has to come out with vegan cheese and vegan buns. Because I don't think people always realize that there could be stuff in the buns, too. Like, a vegan's not going to eat half vegan stuff. If you're an actual like vegan, you're not gonna like sacrifice, because a lot of times it has to do for the well-being of the animals, that you're very passionate about that. So like, yeah. But anyways, this kind of tied into the whole passing because of the documentary he was going to do, and how then Dr. Sebi ended up dying, and it just...
This essentially, with Nipsey dying, it kind of triggered everyone, because I was reading the comments, it kind of triggered everyone to look into this guy and to learn more, and hey, that in itself could be the spark that changes at least one person's diet and passes it on to someone else. Like, it sucks that someone has to die for it, but somewhere in this, there's going to be a change that's going to benefit someone.
I think it's ridiculous that we, like, set some of these celebrities up to fail. Because some of these celebrities, it's like, they end up getting killed, essentially.
Let's talk about this. I'm kind of sad for Nipsey.
Well, sorry. I'm not trying to be insensitive.
Like, sucks.
I'm just saying, I think, because if you look at all the celebrities that have died, I don't think...
Even if this isn't a conspiracy, it sucks to know that my own friend, like, supposedly this could have been a kid that, not a kid, but a guy that he knew since he was a kid. And it's like, if that is the case, if that is true, my own friend
so
can kill me. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I understood that different. I get what you're saying now. What? Never mind. It took a second to process.
But I'm like, that's so crazy. Like, my own friend can kill me.
Well, that's what.
And it's just like, yo, you see I'm building something, and you're upset probably because what? I didn't give you money or something.
It's that person's insecurity.
And it's just like, what? I'm working so hard. I have a family. Like, this guy has a kid and a wife, and it's just like, what?
I saw something that was really sad. It was about how, like, the girl, isn't the girl's name Lauren?
No, Laura.
Okay. Well, I saw something about how, they said, and how, like, to think about how she's going to bed tonight alone, and how they woke up yesterday and everything was normal and all this stuff, and you never really know. And again, add with it, he was what, 8 years older than us? So, like, it's very terrifying. It's very, there's a reality shock there. That it's like you just never know, and it
sucks. I really hope that Nick Cannon does complete this documentary, and it does come out.
God, that's scary. Then you think it's scary because he's taking it up, or he's in on it.
No, that's not okay. I'm not going with that fake conspiracy there. I don't believe
fake. Oh, that's what I was gonna say too. Is if you look at all the celebrities that have died by suicide, though, or apparent suicide, I don't believe it.
I don't believe a lot of this stuff.
I don't believe it. There's so many. Like, no.
We'll take it step by step. So if you are interested after hearing us talk, definitely look up Dr. Sebi. Look at everything he believes in. Some of the videos I wanted to get in that are on YouTube were like, he said like certain foods that you should eat, some foods that you should be eating. And I was curious to know what his thoughts were on that. So I plan on watching that video at some point and just like learning more. Because I also wanted to dig up to see if there's like a video of like these people that, maybe they posted on YouTube saying, hey, I'm cured of blindness because of Dr. Sebi. You would think there's at least one person that has made a video that
probably
has like said
some
this.
Testimonial.
Like, I'm so interested to hear about this, because that's incredible. Nonetheless, to be healed naturally and not be having to worry about AIDS or blindness or diabetes and all that.
I could only imagine, because it's like, for me, I had severe asthma to the point where I'd always have sinus infection or bronchitis. Then I'd have antibiotics and the infection would supposedly go away. And then I'd have this barking cough for like 2 months straight, bruising my ribs, being annoying, not being able to sleep, not being able to talk. Like, it was crazy. And that would happen multiple times a year. And through this lifestyle change, I mean, it's been monumentally better. Mm-hmm. Like, when the first winter I went through, I had started with this doctor in July of 2017. The first winter I went through, I didn't have a cough until April. That was monumental for me. And even when I got that cough, it was like a couple weeks. So like, that was less than a year. And at that point, I was only not doing gluten and dairy, because at that point we didn't know about eggs and almonds. So I mean, that alone is a huge testimonial. So I could just imagine if someone is cured of something 10 times worse than that, like AIDS and cancer and all that devastating stuff. That's insane. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
So really, we just wanted to make this Friday episode to shed light onto this. RIP to Nipsey Hussle, and also to the doctor, unfortunately. But hopefully this enlightens someone, makes them want to change their diet, live healthier. Just making your days better. That's all we got to do. On that note, I'm cool to wrap this one out. It's getting a little sad now.
I know.
You good?
I'm good.
All right, guys. So.
Oh boy, here we go.
We gotta bring back the happiness up in here.
Oh boy, all right. That was like a light switch.
All right. So, if you're watching us on YouTube, please give us a like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening to this on iTunes, please give us a rate, review, tell us how we're doing.
Who is he?
Oh man.
Like a little tornado over here.
Thank you guys for listening. Much appreciated. As always, thank you for the support. I totally appreciate it. It's so fun doing these recordings and just talking. It's dope. Once again, I am the greater half of Paging the Simpsons, Shadell.
Why?
I'm joined by my second greater half.
The even greater half, Lauren.
And we will catch you guys next Tuesday.
And we'll try not to lie next time.
Hopefully.
But we can't help what happens in real time. So yeah, it wasn't our fault. Okay? Okay.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Peace.